that if thou wouldst believe, thou shouldst see the glory of God. But I think we all have an understanding that the Bible is a book of miracles. It revolves around it. In a way, miracles are what make us follow this book and dedicate our lives to its teachings. You look like a man who enjoys a good story. You ever hear the one about Lazarus? They say Jesus Christ performed quite a few miracles when he walked the earth. People in my congregation always took to debate about the greatest miracle. Everybody always had a different answer. For me, though, the greatest miracle, the power of life over death. Resurrection.
It's beautiful.
Turn it over.
Isn't there a rule against carving into something holy?
You know, I was going to mention that on Sunday. I do believe I'll feel might be conflicted standing in front of all those people. Taking James into town next time I head in. Saw something at the general store he might like.
Papa, there's horses outside.
What's your business in these parts, Isaiah?
Jacob and I are just looking for a place to rest for the evening, preacher. Nothing more. Evening, ma'am.
You like it, boy? Tell ya, if your pa lets us have a place to stay for the night, I might just let you have a go with her tomorrow.
Isabel, James. Go inside now. If it's money you want, that's fine. But my family...
Relax. We don't want your money. And we ain't gonna do nothing to that pretty wife of yours.
Unless your name's Reynolds, we ain't got...
What's that about Reynolds?
There are some things in life that are better left unanswered. The answer to that question is one of those things. Now, we sitting here too much longer, and we might be needing something more than a place to rest.
You can shack up in the barn for the evening. Should be able to find some wood in there for a fire, and I'll be in the morning to tend to the cows.
We'll leave everything just like we found it. Least we can do for the hospitality, preacher.
Would you like to start us off?
Let's let James do it tonight. I think he's old enough. How about you?
Of course he is.
Well, partner, what do you say?
We thank you, Lord, for the meal you've laid out before us, for the food you give us every day. Thank you for the family you've given us. Thank you for my mama and my papa.
What the hell do you think? What in the name of Jesus goddamn Christ was going through that pissant old mind of the great philosopher Jacob Bannon? No guesses? Shit, I ain't got one neither. What do I pay you for, Jacob? To gossip with the local town converter?
I said, I don't think...
You're goddamn right you don't think!
I don't think it'll lead to nothing.
What's that about Reynolds? That's what he said before God and all of us. But you don't think it'll lead to nothing. Well, hell! Just consider me assuaged if you don't think it'll lead to nothing!
Isa, you're just about to push me to a place you don't want to see me go to.
You ain't never had the sand to do nothing, Jacob.
You never did.
You know that ain't the truth.
Like hell it ain't. If you hadn't let that son of a bitch Reynolds take a chunk out of you, we'd be clear out of town by now. Come on! You little son of a bitch.
Isaiah, you say one more word and I will put you in the dirt.
No sign of him.
Last we saw of him was after church on Sunday. Ain't hardly nobody's been up this way anymore. Not even the traders.
Hey, Marv, anybody check with old Doc Morris? He might have sent him up Burnham's Hope to see that big doctor up there.
Morning, Marshal. Happen to seen Isaiah Bannon around?
What, problems with your flock?
Well, there's always a few wolves in the mix.
I don't know any wolves that steal from the collection plate.
Well, Marshal, the Lord will judge the saints and the sinners alike. I'll leave that up to him.
Fair enough.
You got a moment?
Sure.
That's a fine-looking horse you got there. What's its name?
Jack.
Oh, that's a good, strong name. Now, you think Jack might like some candy? When was the last time you saw Marcus or Talbisha Reynolds?
I guess that would be Sunday. I saw Talb and a little girl at church. Everything okay?
Well, nobody's seen him since. Which wouldn't be unusual for most folks, but this is Talbisha we're talking about. You can set your clock by her trips to town, especially since Marcus has been gone.
Well, I could go down to the house, check on him.
Already been there. It's covered in blood. Like a goddamn... It's like somebody gutted a pig in there. Only no body, alive or otherwise.
When was this?
Well, I was over this morning. Why?
Last night, Jacob and Isaiah came to our home. Needed a place to stay. I can't say I was happy about it to begin with, but had I known...
Oh, I understand.
In any case, Jacob said something about the Reynolds. Isaiah wanted to keep it quiet.
Any guesses where they might be heading?
Not a clue. Maybe low country.
Yeah, maybe. Or on the dodge in the outskirts.
They couldn't get very far with Jacob being the way he was. His arm was in a bad way. You really think they could have done something like this to the Reynolds? What about the...
Well, thanks for your help, preacher. Now, you take good care of Jack, young man. Breaking in good.
What's the word in town?
There's plenty of words. None of them any good. Edwards said Marcus and Talbisha hadn't been seen in days.
What about the girl?
No sign of her. No sign of anyone. Just the aftermath. James asked about her at all?
Not so far. I don't think he knows anything's happened yet.
Good.
You had no idea what they'd done. Couldn't have. You were just doing what you thought was right.
Yeah. I know what sort of men they are.
You turning them men away? As injured as Jacob was? Would have made you no different than those who walked before the Samaritan. Sure glad you're better at orating verses than you are at folding laundry. Otherwise, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, well, I sure am glad you're better at folding laundry than you are at milking cows. Otherwise, you'd be out of milk and wearing wrinkly pants.
Keep pressure here, I'll go get the doctor.
You gotta take him, otherwise
If I take him with me, the rhino will kill him worse than if he stays. I swear I'll be back. I swear he's gonna be all right.
said he was attacked?
Yes, Dr. Morris. Like you're taking his hands clean off if I have to.
Dr. Morris, it's James. He's injured. Where is he? What happened? Back at the house. Please, Dr. Morris. He was attacked. There's blood all over him. Please, Doctor, you gotta help him. You gotta help him. Okay. I want you to keep this wrapped up tight, okay? Come back tomorrow. If you notice anything different about this, odor, discoloration, anything, you make sure you come back.
Ganzer!
Tell me, my boy. Yes, sir.
Isaiah! I've got this under control. I've got this under control. Throw your rifle. You don't want to be doing this. Look at me, you son of a bitch! No!
I was 17 in Virginia, waiting to enlist. I was young, and the pay was good. The day comes that I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sign that paper and I get crippled ill. But I'll be damned if I don't drag myself down there anyway. And I see this little wisp of a lady taking 2 goats to market, just being dragged all over creation. I walked over to give her a hand, and she spoke to me. Suddenly the army didn't seem all that appealing anymore. Isabel taught me my way. Said I was too sick to enlist, and anyway, my place wasn't fighting men on the frontier, it was guiding spirits through the wilderness. I never saw any of that coming. Always has been a fault of mine, not to see things coming.
I think, don't you?
You saw what he did. You were standing right there.
Yes, I saw that.
There were children who saw him gun a man down right there on the street.
I understand that.
Well, then you also understand that we got rights.
Rights.
That's right, Marshal Edwards, rights. And that man you got locked up in there committed an act of violence, an act that goes against the entire foundation of his life.
And we know he let them stay on his land not but a day ago.
That's right.
Right after they slaughtered the Reynoldses.
Oh, yeah.
And then he guns one of them down in the street right out in front of God and all the rest of us watching.
That is absolutely right.
We don't do something about it, God in heaven will.
That's right, Marshal. And I think given the circumstances, this town is owed some justice. And we owe it to God in heaven above to make sure
We owe it to God. Let me make this clear. If so much as one man steps in that building without me granting it, the only person you're going to be owing is the doctor for pulling lead out of your gut. Now I'm going to go out and check on this man's wife. And I'm going to find out more about what happened. And when I get back, there better be a prisoner in that cell. Do I make myself clear? Isabel. Oh, God, what happened? Isabel? Isabel?
What's going on? Where's James? Where's Isabel?
Sorry, preacher. God damn it, if you're not gonna use that thing, give it to me!
What about the town? What about these people?
These people are already dead.
All we could do is run. We rode all night and all day. Highland Mills was hell reaching out for us. Never really sat right with me. What happened to all those people?
Something on your mind, preacher? Hell of a night. I can't remember the last time I sat down and enjoyed it. Sound, the stars. Hell, now I'm in bed by sundown and up before sunrise. Ain't I supposed to be getting something out of that?
Are you healthy, wealthy, or wise?
Still wearing his badge, ain't I? Probably no, on all counts. You know, there was a lynching one night back in town when I was deputy. Night like this, I guess. Negro boy, 15, 16. People said he'd been caught stealing. Chicken here, some lumber there. Shit, he'd probably take a fire off my windowsill if you left it there. I believe there was no reasoning with these people. Nothing could be said. I was too wrapped up in holding a job. Too green. Too weak to push my gut into doing anything.
You ain't going nowhere. What are you going to do?
Highland Mills was already dead, preacher. They were ready to be your judge and jury without a moment's hesitation. Thought that would fix the situation. Nothing you or I could have done short of killing them ourselves. Puts a mighty hurt on the brain when you realize what a person will do when they believe in something. Get some rest. We got a ways to go tomorrow.
I don't recall when it's been so cool this time of year. Do you? My boy, James, it's my son. It was always one of our favorite times. You go walking out in those woods and just kind of marvel at everything. I was always struck when I saw a herd of deer grazing, such graceful animals. Always put a hurt in my head when it came time to kill one, but I guess God put animals in Eden for a reason. Don't suppose Adam could eat dirt all day. James was funny out in those woods. Wintertime, he always liked watching his breath on the cold air. He'd take these big breaths and just keep blowing out till he was blue in the face so long as he could see it rising. Kids will fascinate you like that, you know? Absolutely amazed by the smallest little thing. That was his purpose. Maybe God made kids that way so we'd appreciate the simple thing. We grow old. We lose faith. Not James. How about you? You got any kids? It's a nasty hurt you got there. Got a long way to Burnham's Hope, but we could probably pack you along. Might be a doc down there that could patch you up. What's your name? Yeah. I thought you might say that.
Jesus himself would have been proud of that last shot, preacher. Hell of a miracle right there. They teach that kind of thing. You planting something?
These men deserve to be buried.
Now, I have seen and heard some crazy shit in my time, up to and including a man of God sliding across the ground, grabbing a rifle and killing 2 people with 1 shot. But I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna bury 4 of those cocksuckers that just tried to rip my face off.
5.
5.
There's another one just up over the hill. Delivered him a while ago.
Oh, so that's... You mean while I was here struggling with this bastard right here, you were delivering a sermon to one of them out in the woods?
No matter how far we ran, no matter where we hid, there was no getting away. Behind your brain, you'd always hear the moans, the flood of suffering and pain. I am the resurrection and the life. He that liveth and believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Fitting words. Of course, the last person to say those words brought a man back from the dead. You sure you want to be standing next to that sumbitch while you're speaking them?
Never knew you were into the word.
I got no practical use for what's between chapters 1 and 500 in that book of yours. I just always enjoyed a good story. And a carpenter's son bringing a man back alive is damn near top of the list. You ever wonder why I never went?
What's that?
To church. Why I never went to church.
I just figured it had something to do with my sermons.
Oh, you're a damn fine orator. Don't sell yourself short.
Well, some people just take a while to find their way in. Thought you'd come around at some point or another.
I hope you're a man of patience. You ever do something as a kid in school? Something you weren't supposed to do and you got caught?
All the time. I was a hellspawn as a kid.
You remember when the teacher would call you out to the head of the class and you'd have to stand there while she whipped the fire out of your ass in front of all the other kids?
Seem to recollect something like that, yes?
See, for me, it wasn't the whipping that hurt. It was knowing I was gonna turn around and do the same shit again and have to go through that same beating. That's what I couldn't take, sitting there in that desk. I figured sitting in that pew, I might as well be chafing my ass with the teacher's paddle every day for the rest of my life. Besides, I got my own temple. Think this is a revelation? Dead rising? Entertain me on this.
Fairly certain we're short a couple of horsemen, but I don't know. Maybe it is.
So if it is, don't you think it's mighty odd that you're still here? Did you just oversleep the rapture?
All I know is that what we're seeing out there ain't alive, and it ain't exactly dead.
Now, how do you reckon they ain't dead?
I reckon that from the fact they still run around and eat just like normal folks.
Only in this case, it's the normal folk they like to eat.
They're stuck in a hell of their own. They can't pass on. They can't be judged.
By who? You?
By the one who'll judge the quick and the dead. And those things, those people. Neither one of those. Until we deliver them, they can't be judged.
So that's why there's all this whispering and praying. Here I thought you was just paying your respects and saying sweet nothing, but here you are, a fine instrument of God, delivering them. God damn it, you got fast now. Looks like one of our boys was a farmer. Thought you might like an early birthday present.
I'll go in. See this.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Looks like the whole congregation held out here for a while. Must have put up quite a fight.
I want to thank Jesus for that. I shit you not. Catfish Pete comes bursting through those doors, naked as a jaybird, all covered in hay, and he sets that bottle of moonshine down on the table, and all he says is, I'm gonna wait till that whiskey dries off and passes out. Well, he got up and gone before I was even able to wake up, and I haven't seen that bastard since. I swear to you, in all my born days,
Whatever happened to him?
same thing that'll happen to us by and by. What with us taking all them guns and rags off of them every day, we're bound to have the sickness in us.
No. You have to get bit.
Oh, now, what makes you so sure?
I've tussled with them. We've buried them. Only ones I've ever known turn are those bitten.
Oh, like who? Present?
Anniversary of when we first met.
Is that so?
12 years ago. Middle of the street in Burnham's Hope.
Well, once we find a proper bed and a fitting plan of action, I would very much like to see that street where the hellion became the preacher.
Well, anyway, I'm sure.
Hold on. It's a lie. Think you might be able to make use of a stiff drink, preacher?
I'm considering it.
Wake up, Padre! It's like you're kind. Damn it, do something! Do something!
God damn it!
Get out.
Now!
I didn't think you had it in you.
I don't.
Three shots to feed them maggots. Shit, that's not enough to last 2 hours out here, much less 2 weeks.
Last I recall, 2 and 3 made 5.
Well, I like to save the extras, just in case.
You really plan to do that?
I plan to do what I have to do, preacher. Whether that means eating a bullet so I don't turn into one of them sons of bitches, or you ponying up and doing it for me. And that's why we only have 3.
Easy.
What happened?
Oh, God. They just attacked us. They didn't want money or food or anything. They just spit him all over my boy. Oh, my God. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Ian! My boy! Ian! Oh, God, my boy! You son of a bitch! You son of a bitch! No way!
Why? Because it had to be done.
It had to be done. He was a human being.
As soon as he saw his son's blood on that tarp, there was no difference between him and what's out there. He'd have killed both of us if he had the chance. I did what I had to do.
What you had to do? Just like those people that lynched that boy. Remember?
I goddamn remember that very well. You remember those pieces of shit in that barn? You remember burning them all to hell? You think they had a paw that would have done anything to keep them from being killed? And I will pretty well remember this as long as I breathe. But you can get down off of your pulpit right now, because I don't want none of your sermons about what's right and what's wrong. Because there ain't no goddamn Bible verses and no goddamn sermon that's going to change the fact that we're out here in the middle of this goddamn wood with a handful of shot and hundreds of those beings out there who don't care about right and wrong.
These people weathered the storm. They're not the only ones. We're gonna meet them soon.
How much further?
I don't know. But when we get there, I'll have that drink with you.
I reckon going from sheriff to marshal is a lot like busting a bronco. Takes the fire and piss out of you till you're almost off, free of any danger. No.
Sounds about like seminary.
Well, young shithead that I was, I had all the balls, but none of the methods. Don't reckon you all are missionary. So much for that drink.
Searched and thorough, sir. No bites. The horses are out back with the others.
Well, ain't that just screaming? Boys, you can go back to your posts. After you bring our guests some libations, that is.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen.
Your hospitality is most appreciated, Mr.
Samuel Beard.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mr. Beard.
We appreciate the kindness, Mr. Beard. If we'd put you out, we'd like to bring our horses in.
Well, I'm afraid reality keeps check on our hospitality. We keep all livestock outside these walls. Figure they'll make good bait if those savageous bastards ever show up en masse. Give us some time to reinforce the gates.
We've been finding it ain't exactly the horses they enjoy eating.
Yeah, you'd be amazed at these desperate times, even for those things. So tell me, what brings a sin buster and a lawman way out here to the edge of chaos?
Just passing through. We left Highland Mills just before harvest. Trying to get to Burnham's Hope, that's all. Just got a little sidetracked, you could say.
We were hoping we might rest here a day or two if that wouldn't trouble you or your men.
I'll tell you what I do, gentlemen. I can give you a place to sleep on. You might even steal a warm meal if you catch someone snoozing. That's a whole hell of a lot more than you're gonna find at Burnham's Hope.
How's that?
A week ago, I had 10 scouts under my command, sent 4 of them out that way. This week, I have 6 scouts. You can scratch Burnham's Hope off the map.
What about the rest of your unit? How many men do you have here?
Unit? we found some of the things left behind very useful in keeping a semblance of order around here. The uniform goes a long way, don't it?
Left behind. You mean the army's gone?
What's left of it is, at least. As a matter of fact, most of the unit been gone quite a spell when we found this place. A Comanche hunt. My money is on those filthy cock holsters for starting this mess. More to the point, the army never came back. When this whole shitstorm started, the fellas who had left either ran into the woods or stayed here and joined us.
Who's us?
Farmers, miners, stragglers, gamblers, whores, anybody who wanted a place to rest came across our humble doorstep. Even the occasional padre. Before long, we had us a homey little commune.
And you're the mayor?
The uniform surely does go a long way.
Oh, God. Pray for me. Please, God, have mercy. I'm sorry, Lord. I'm sorry I did it to them. I'm sorry, Lord. I'm sorry I did it to them. Tell him I'm sorry, Father. Tell him I'm sorry.
I know that he hears you. I'm sure that whatever you did...
I killed them. I killed my babies. I knew if I didn't, they'd be like them demons. I burnt them. I couldn't let them become like them monsters. Now Satan's waiting for me. Lucifer on the hot bed of coals is waiting for me. Father. Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ. Please pray for me. Pray for my babies.
I will. I will.
Looks like you found yourself a new friend. Sounds crazy as crazy comes.
And you've witnessed what she has and done what she's done. I don't know that you can blame her for the way she is.
Says the gun-toting, gospel-sharp who always buries a bastard that just tried to eat his arm.
We all deal in different ways. Perhaps we'll all be on trial in the big courtroom one day.
Yeah, well, that's awful fascinating. You gotta tack that onto your sermon. Next time you're out there passing the collection plate with those things. You're an odd bird, preacher. A good one, but odd. Morning, sunshine.
It's almost enough to make a man feel guilty for sleeping.
10 hours.
Yeah, I was open for 30. Thoughts?
I'd give this place an hour, maybe 2. Then those things will come pouring over these walls. You up for a walk?
Wait!
Looks like we got ourselves a native, Joseph. Mr. Beard seems to think you're the Mongol fucks that started all this. Got anything to say about that? I asked you a question, blanket ass! What do you have to say about that? What's that, Featherhead?
They're right behind me. So the ship's speeding toward the Union, smoke rolling out of it. But no danger to us in a good wind, and we were sailing. Well, it was then the captain says, if we don't lose these guns, Beard, we ain't gonna make it through the blockade. So, I hands him my crowbar. And he asks, what's this for? And all I says is, if he throws those guns overboard, he's gonna need it. To pry Stonewall's pistol right out of his arse. Yeah, I must commend you on the way you handled yourselves out in that wood today, gentlemen. Save 3 people and bring them safely back in the middle of a runner attack is quite impressive.
God pulled us through out there, Mr. Beard. He always has. I believe he was with those people today.
Seems your friend finds something about divine help a touch humorous. Somebody was looking out for the 2 of you. My soldiers was butchered.
Got nothing to do with no fluffy Jesus God. If those men were any measure of the caliber of soldier you got in these walls, I'd say we're all but fucked when those things get here.
It's not always a good idea to insult your host at dinner, especially when he's joined by some of those very same soldiers you're speaking ill of.
I've seen men hanging in nooses with more integrity than I saw in those woods. I apologize.
On behalf of my men, I accept you.
To the men hanging, if you'll excuse me.
Your hospitality is mighty appreciated, Mr. Beard, but I do believe we'll be taking our leave tomorrow.
You sure we can't persuade you to stay a while longer? It's rare we get guests of such cordiality.
I think we've imposed enough. If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. That's what it says right here in John 11.
I took my baby's light away, I did. Can you tell that to God? Can you make him forgive me?
Nothing can change what you did, ma'am. Nothing will ever bring your children back. Nothing will ever wash you clean of blood. We've all seen and done things today we'd have never even thought of yesterday. But you can still walk with the light in you, whatever that light is.
I want to hear that from God. I want him to hear my voice.
What's your name, ma'am?
Don't seem fit to have one after what I done. But you can call me Legion.
No, ma'am. You're just one person looking for grace like the rest of us. That's what separates us from them. We will never quit seeking grace. They'll walk forever as one mind, seeking nothing. Do you really believe I can make God hear any of us?
No.
have a look.
James. I see it.
Why don't you stay a while, preacher?
Three of them come in this morning. The woman, little girl, and the old man. Looks like her husband's got a mighty bad hurt on his leg.
Is it a bite?
I know.
Phineas, these two want to stay. Tell them to find a use. Otherwise, they're more than welcome to join him outside. Soon after we came here, a man shows up at the gates. Crazy for the Lord. One of your fellas. And he had a bloodied arm. Thought nothing of it, patched him up, put him to work. A week later, the whole goddamn fort wakes up to this man, wailing about. We're all sinners needing to be cleansed. We're all due judgment from God Almighty Himself. Ordinarily, I got no problem with these proclamations, except that this old croaker had taken it upon himself to lead two of those wretches in through the rear gate. Lost a good man that night. Never did learn if an arm was a bite or a scratch. Did learn that either way you turn it, a bullet clears things up mighty quick.
Afraid of what you're becoming?
What's that?
Is it too natural to just put a bullet in one of those things and not worry about who they are or who they were?
You ain't Beard, preacher.
Samuel Beard became what he is. Wasn't made that way.
Does this have anything to do with that bastard congregation you blew straight to hell? Even when the world turns to shit, folks will still maintain some shade of a normal life. These folks here still dance. Those folks' horse. What for?
Shelter from the storm.
Indeed. But they got no clue as to the formation of that storm. Where it came from, where it ends. Then one day the storm takes up and suddenly it's us out there. Walking worm food, scratching at the walls outside. Ever since we left Highland Mills, you've been dancing just like them. Trying to do what's normal in a time when there's no such thing. I don't understand what goes through that mind of yours when you're burying one. To be truthful, I think you're a goddamn loon. No offense to God or loons. But I do understand that you're not a man who would cut someone down in cold blood. You may have a few wheels loose on the wagon, but you ain't a murderer. It's the beards of the world that worry me.
Samuel Beard's only a man. When his time comes, he will be cut down by powers bigger than any of us. That's any comfort to you?
None whatsoever.
Mr. Beard! Mr. Beard! Mr. Beard! Where's Beard? Mr. Beard! Mr. Beard, you gotta pull everyone out now. Now! Now! I spotted him out there!
Find those damn things all the time. What in the holy hell has got
Scores.
me?
100, I don't know, maybe double that.
Which way they coming?
This way, sir. Following the gathering trails.
Get everyone inside the gate within the next half hour. Have them bring all the supplies and firewood that they can. Leave the rest. Set up a standard rotation in those towers and along the perimeter. 2 hours on, 2 hours off.
Sir.
I want every pitchfork, every shovel and knife in this yard immediately. All women and children are expected to fight directly or to supply the tower positions with ammunition and fresh supplies. I want everyone armed with some form of weapon. Everyone fights, everyone lives. Abandon your post or fail to do your job, and I will end you myself. How are they coming?
Head into the forest, sir. Directly to us. I'd say about 2 hours out.
As soon as those farmers are in, close the gates. No one in, no one out.
Mr. Beard, we still got 3 scouts out there, sir. What about them?
Leaving so soon?
If you want to stay around and meet old Scratch, we won't be getting in your way. We figure we got a better chance on the move.
If we leave now, all of us, we can put 5 miles between us and them by daybreak.
Under my orders, no man is to leave his post under penalty of death by firing squad. And that includes the 2 of you.
What gives you the right to condemn these people to death?
What is it, Morgan?
It's only a few of them. You think the kid was just scared shitless when he said hundreds?
That's all it takes to knock in a door. We've got about a dozen stragglers out there, and some of them look to be carrying some provisions we might be able to use. Now, since you two held your own pretty well in the woods, you're going to take 3 men out there and bring us back what we need.
You mean to tell me that a few rifles and some dirty shots worth more to you than the lives of 3 of your men? You really are a worthless cunt.
I mean to say that I want those provisions in this yard in half an hour with as few shots fired as possible. Now, should I further clarify my point, or is it pretty motherfucking clear?
Looks like we got about a dozen roamers.
Begging your pardon?
Now see, these devil bastards come in all sorts of flavors, Marshal. Copperheads, chinks, stumblers, runners, roamers, like these is, And the lingerers?
Lingerers are the damnedest. They just stick to where they was when they fell out.
We come across some of them.
I reckon. Eventually something inside a lingerer drives them away from the place where he dropped off. And then there's roamers. Like we got here. Ain't that right, Thomas?
Yes, sir, it is.
I think this is our chance to exit.
Two problems there. We're without hooves, and I'm not leaving these people.
It's not a bite. Some bitch just scratched me is all.
He ain't gonna let you back in.
God damn it, it's just a scratch. I can still shoot a gun. I can still kill these cocksuckers.
This don't gotta be any way but quick, Thomas.
God damn you both. I ain't staying here. I'm sure as
now
hell
or
ain't gonna
never,
let you
Potter.
finish me
Thinking
off.
Beard's had a sharpshooter trained on us since we left his gates. Like the man said, no one's to abandon his post.
About a month.
What's that, sir?
We've been here about a month.
Tommy?
Thomas. That's it.
Came in about a week after I did. It was him and his sister.
Jillian, right?
I reckon.
Can still smell that soup she used to make. I wouldn't have thought a man could feast so on naught but potatoes and berries. Beautiful woman. Morgan, if any of the others go that way, shoot them.
You boys haven't seen the full show yet. Killing's only half the fun. This is where the good stuff begins. That must have been their scouting party.
Father, please protect us inside the walls this evening. Give us the clarity to make the right decisions and to protect one another in dark times. Guide the souls outside this gate, that they may find your glory in eternal heaven.
You ready to leave, or you just gonna be chatting all night?
Amen. Don't imagine Beard's gonna let those sharpshooters on a piss break.
I think Beard and the shooters are gonna have a whole hell of a lot more to worry about than the two of us in a few minutes.
Even if we could get past the gate, we still got dozens of those things out there waiting for us.
Well, you got your shovel, right? Should be a goddamn barn dance for you. Come on, let's take a walk. Scout mission. They're coming in through the main outlets in the woods. And all those outlets lead to that front gate, which happens to be where Beard's got most of his men waiting. Now, anybody not there now will be when those fuckers hit the wall, which means you're gonna go down that gate. Now, in about 2 minutes, you're gonna have your moment to get through there.
What happens to everyone else? What happens to you?
Somebody's got to distract Beard's men. Now, once you get through there, you get to the horses and you ride. Don't stop. Ride until you get about a half day's out. That should give you enough time.
funnel everybody through the rear gate. You're right behind us. You're just that
Hey, Mr. Beard said you boys.
Before we go to the main road, it would take you about a day to get across. I'd stay in the sticks. Put you going a day or two more, but maybe you'll avoid the bulk of them cocksuckers.
I told you, I'm not leaving these people, and I'm not leaving you. You don't have to do this.
There's plenty of things I didn't have to do. Probably shouldn't have either. This ain't one of them.
You don't have it in you.
Like hell, those things get here, you're either dead or on their way to becoming what I am. You better be goddamn sure. I don't want to see that happen. Now you get to burn them home. When you get there, you go to my church. The first one's on me.
Guns have never been a problem here. Weapons, provisions, people, all stocks in trade we've never been short on. You fire a bullet, reload. You lose a man. Whole family shows up at the gates. The wheels keep turning. Life goes on in circles. And because you love the people and the sanctity within these walls, you make sacrifices. I've made them. Had them made in my name. Not proud of it. Sacrifice keeps the circles in motion, allows the sanctity to exist. Sacrifice ain't the problem. Problem ain't outside these walls. Problem ain't inside the walls. It's here. Man starts to forget. Names, faces, hopes. That's when the ground starts to fall away. Order never forgets. You make a man real when you give him a purpose. You tell him what to do, when to walk out those gates, when to pass, when to sleep. Reward him when he comes safely home. Smite him when he steals. Our enemies made a hell from chaos. We made a home from order. I thought my orders were clear tonight. All men on the line, Marshal Edwards.
Too nice a night to be taking orders, Mr. Beard.
This was the army. I'd say your nice night just cost you your life.
Last time I remember a night this nice was almost 20 years ago. There was this Negro boy, 15, 16 years old, supposedly got caught stealing a chicken and some lumber from a couple of farmers. And while everyone was so damn concerned about sticks and birds, all I could think about was his little brother screaming wildfire. Couldn't have been 5 years old, watching him drag his brother to the rope. He strung him up that night. Said all number of unholy things to him while he was kicking and screaming. Did it really? Never did. But I do know he deserved a bit more justice than he got that night. I know his little brother should never have seen what he saw. Just like I know that little girl deserved more than to watch her paw rot outside these gates. I know there's no room in heaven or hell for monsters like us. Hell of a nice night.
I know that what you've done is what you had to do. The alternative could have been much worse than these times. Lord knows I've seen and done things at any other time I'd have thrown myself before the cross and begged for mercy. That doesn't matter. What matters is you felt that was what you had to do at that time, at that moment. A friend of mine once said, puts a mighty hurt on the brain when you realize what a person will do when they believe in something. So, if you believe that's what you had to do, I understand. And I know he's out there waiting with open arms.
Seen dried up gamblers spend less time in there than that.
Just waiting for someone.
No, sure.
He's out there. Where the wicked cease from turmoil and the weary are at rest.
Too late to catch a train there.
About 30 more approaching from the north.
What do you want to do, Preach?
You don't mind getting a little dirty, do you?
If that were coming from any other man, I'd say that sounds like a proposition. But if you were any other man, I doubt we'd be digging holes all night now, would we?
Same thing that drove them to murder that boy. It's the thing that keeps you going. Belief. Belief pushing you to a point you never thought possible. We all got belief in something. You got the man, I got the law. But it's there for all of us. You just better hope that what you believe in is worth it. Worth what you're willing to do, what you're willing to lose. And in the end,